Imagine wandering alone on the edge of the Egyptian desert. Night falls like ink, sand whispers beneath your feet, and the wind carries a faint sigh. You look up to see a waning moon, its silver light casting a shadow over the ruins, illuminating a single incision. An eye, sharp as a hawk, yet tinged with eerie tears. Involuntarily you reach out, your fingertips touching the stone wall, and the cold vein of light surges through you like an electric current. Your heart stops as you sense it staring back at you, peeling back layers of disguise to reveal hidden fears and longings. Will you turn and flee, or face it facing the unknown force? The choice hangs like a sword over your head. If it's real, you'll be forever protected. If it's an illusion, you'll plummet into an endless abyss of darkness. This suspense isn't a distant legend, but a living legacy of ancient Egypt, the true function behind the Eye of Horus, waiting for you to gradually uncover its secrets. This opening isn't just empty fantasy. It strikes directly at the fears within each of us. Faced with a symbol that gazes upon us, we fear the truth it will reveal, yet we yearn for the hope and enlightenment it brings. Let us enter the vortex of this mystery and feel the torn tension, from the myth's bloody origins to its hidden historical applications, to a deep spiritual awakening, and finally to its modern-day controversies and applications. Layer upon layer of suspense will unfold, and by the end, perhaps you'll be left in a comment sharing your feelings, for it touches the deepest corners of your soul and leaves you unable to let go. The bloody origins of mythology, revenge and destruction of the divine realm. Story of the Eye of Horus stems from the depths of ancient Egyptian mythology, a world where gods and humans intertwined. Dating back to the Nile Valley around 3000 BC, there, civilization sprouted between floods and deserts, and Horus, god of the sky, soared in the form of a falcon. His father was Osiris, king of the underworld, symbol of fertility and resurrection. His mother was Isis, goddess of love and magic, master of the mysteries of life. This sacred family, supposedly a model of harmony, was plunged into a blood feud by the ambitions of his uncle, Seti. Set, god of the desert and chaos, jealous of Osiris's dominance, plotted to entrap Osiris, murder him, and dismember his body into 14 pieces, which were then scattered along the banks of the Nile. Deeply grief-stricken, Isis transformed herself into a kite, searched for the body parts, and using magic, reassembled her husband's body. During a brief moment of resurrection, she conceived Horus. After Horus's birth, Isis hid him in a swamp to escape Set's pursuit. As an adult, Horus, carrying on his father's legacy, sought revenge on Set. In mythology, this battle was protracted and bloody. Set attacked with the power of storms and wild beasts, while Horus fought back with his vision of the sky. In a fierce battle, Set shattered Horus's left eye, a moon-like radiance symbolizing wisdom, insight, and the lunar cycle. Blood gushed out, and the eye shattered into 6 pieces scattered across the earth. Terror washed over him like a tide. Without his eye, Horus was plunged into blinding darkness. His world crumbled. How could he continue to fight? This conflict was not simply one of revenge, but an eternal tug-of-war between order and chaos. Set represented the destruction and disorder of the desert, while Horus represented the stability and rebirth of the sky. Through this story, the ancient Egyptians contemplated the fragility of life. A moment of violence could destroy everything and plunge one into the abyss of despair. But then a suspense emerged. How could the shattered eye be restored to life? Thoth, the god of wisdom, appeared. He was the patron saint of the moon, writing, and magic. He appeared with the head of an ibis, wielding a scepter and an ankh. Thoth didn't simply piece together the fragments. He infused them with divine power, imbuing each with a specific power. The eyebrows represent thought and intuition, the pupils vision and insight, the lower eyelids touch and emotion, the upper eyelids hearing and wisdom, and the curves on either side of the eyes represent smell and taste respectively. These 6 parts, nearly complete in sum, are forever missing a 64th of a part, said to be a mysterious gift from Thoth, symbolizing humanity's imperfect pursuit and the unattainability of divinity. The repaired eye, called the wajet, is no longer a mere organ but a powerful symbol. Horus presented it to his father, Osiris, to raise him from the dead and restore him to rule the underworld. This process is fraught with tension. Thoth's magic is a double-edged sword, repairing while also exposing the fragility and imperfection of the divine realm. Here a flicker of hope emerges, from brokenness to wholeness, symbolizing the cycle of life and its regenerative power. Ponder for a moment. If you were Horus, what would you do at that moment when your eye was torn apart? Will fear consume your will, leading you to eternal darkness? Or will the flames of revenge ignite hope and drive you to seek restoration? Ancient Egyptian mythology is not a fairy tale. It reflects the human heart. Each of us harbors a shadow like Set, shattering our peace and integrity. But the Eye of Horus reminds us, after destruction, there is always a chance for repair, and this opportunity often comes from a combination of wisdom and magic. History's hidden applications, from myth to real-world protection. Mythology was only the starting point. The Eye of Horus's true function gradually emerged throughout ancient Egyptian history, becoming a guardian in everyday life. Ancient Egyptians inscribed it on funerary objects, amulets, temple walls, and even ships as a symbol of protection. Archaeological discoveries have revealed the Eye of Horus, shimmering with turquoise enamel, inlaid on a golden mask in Tutankhamun's tomb, circa 1323 BCE, symbolizing the vitality and eternity of the Nile River. Pharaohs wore it, believing it would bring royal power and prosperity. Imagine an ordinary farmer tilling the Nile River, threatened by floods. He embroidered an eye on his lapel, praying for protection from disaster. Fear lurked here. Threats from nature and enemies were ever present, but the gaze of the eye, like a silent guardian, brought a sense of security. First function: protection and reflection. The ancient Egyptians viewed the Eye of Horus as a nemesis of the evil eye. The belief in the evil eye, originating in the Middle East and the Mediterranean, posits that jealous or malicious glances can bring disaster, illness, and even death. The Eye of Horus reflects this negative energy, acting like a mirror, reflecting back the evil upon the inflictor. A necklace unearthed at the site of Amarina, circa 2000 BC, features the eye combined with the serpent-like guardian deity Wadjet, specifically designed to protect pregnant women from miscarriage and evil spirits. Historical records indicate that Ramses II, at the Battle of Kadesh, 1274 BC, was said to have turned defeat into victory by wearing an Eye of Horus amulet. On the battlefields of Syria, facing a siege by the Hittites, the pharaoh held the amulet aloft, and the soldiers felt a surge of invisible courage. The conflict is palpable. In everyday life, fear is pervasive, yet the eye offers hope for safety and inspires people to face challenges. The suspense intensifies. How does this protection actually work? The answer lies in its mathematical and geometric mysteries. The ancient Egyptians used the 6 parts of the eye to represent a fractional system. The right curve represents 1/2, the pupil 1/4, the lower eyelid 1/8, the upper eyelid 1/16, the eyebrow 1/32, and the left curve 1/64. The total is 63/64, with the missing 1/64 symbolizing the inaccessibility of the divine and human humility. This wasn't a random design. It served a practical purpose. The Ebers Papyrus, circa 1550 BC, a well-preserved medical text, records doctors using this fractional system to calculate proportions for medications, ensuring precise treatment for eye ailments, wounds, and infections. Mathematical function, fused with mythology. The eye is both a symbol and a practical tool. Herein lies a revelation. The ancients seamlessly integrated art, science, and spirituality. Are we moderns too compartmentalized, losing sight of this holistic wisdom? Deepening into the second layer of function, healing and physical recovery. In mythology, the repair of the eye symbolizes rebirth from injury, a process that has been translated into medical practice throughout history. The Ebers Papyrus details a healing method using the Eye of Horus formula. An eye image was painted on a bandage, combined with honey, mineral powders, and plant extracts and applied to wounds, invoking the magical powers of Thoth to accelerate healing. Cleopatra VII, 5130 BC, the last queen of Egypt, is said to have used the Eye of Horus to maintain her legendary beauty. She carved the eye symbol on her vanity, believing it to preserve youth and allure. Case in point, a warrior wounded in a border skirmish with the Nubians suffered a swollen eye and nearly lost his sight. He applied an Eye of Horus amulet, combined with herbal remedies, and within days his vision was restored. This story is full of tension, the fear of pain, the reliance on divine power and medicine. But there is also a glimmer of hope. The eye, like a silent physician, mends physical wounds and soothes the pain of the soul. But let us ponder, is this healing based on simple superstition, or is it scientifically based? Modern research has revealed that ancient Egyptian amulets were often made of turquoise or obsidian, materials with natural antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. The ancients believed that the Eye of Horus balanced the body's Kai, life force, and Bai, soul, similar to the meridian system in traditional Chinese medicine or the chakras in Ayurveda. This conflict raises the question, is it a psychological comfort effect or the existence of a true energy field? The suspense intensifies here. If the eye has an energy field, how does it affect the body and consciousness? Spiritual insight, awakening and prescience of the third eye, the third level of function, insight and inner vision, the most mysterious aspect of the Eye of Horus. In Egyptian mysticism, it represents the third eye. The left eye corresponds to the moon, symbolizing intuition and emotion. The right eye corresponds to the sun, symbolizing reason and action. When the two are combined, they open the door to wisdom, allowing one to see beyond the physical eye and concealed truths. Priests meditated in temples, gazing at the Eye of Horus image, believing they could foresee the future or penetrate the human heart. A story tells of a priest of the Temple of Amun, who, while meditating, saw a flicker of the eye. He foresaw the impending Nile flood, warned the villagers in time, and saved countless lives. Fear lurks here. Unknown prophecies can bring a premonition of disaster, but hope also accompanies them. A prophetic insight can change destiny. Historically, this clairvoyant function was reflected in Egyptian systems of prophecy and divination. During the Ptolemaic dynasty, 305–30 BC, under Hellenistic influence, the Eye of Horus merged with Hermeticism, with Thoth being revered as the source of knowledge. Priests used the eye symbol in divination charts to predict the pharaoh's reign and the fate of the nation. However, conflict intensified. After the Roman conquest of Egypt, the Eye of Horus was incorporated into Roman mythology and became a protective talisman for the legions. With the rise of Christianity, it was considered a pagan icon and suppressed. In the 4th century AD, Roman Emperor Theodosius I ordered the closure of Egyptian temples, and the Eye of Horus symbol was destroyed, with many secrets lost. In medieval Europe, alchemists rediscovered it from Egyptian fragments, viewing it as a foreshadowing of the philosopher's stone, used to transform lead into gold, symbolizing the purification of the soul from darkness to light. However, the church viewed it as witchcraft, sparking a witch hunt that resulted in countless people being burned at the stake for possessing similar symbols. This tension persists. Sacred symbols are distorted in power struggles, transformed from guardians to taboos. The suspense continues. Is the spiritual power of the Eye of Horus real? Modern quantum physics and consciousness research suggest that the symbol may influence the human energy field. Some spiritual practitioners meditating with the Eye of Horus report enhanced intuition and lucid dreams. Case in point, a contemporary Egyptologist, while excavating the pyramids of Saqqara, touched an Eye of Horus amulet and dreamt of an ancient battlefield. Upon waking, following clues from the dream, he discovered a new entrance to a tomb. This revelation, history is not a dead past, but a living dialogue from which we can draw strength and awaken our inner third eye. Modern interpretations and conspiracies, the double-edged sword of power in modern times. The Eye of Horus has emerged from its ancient tombs, becoming a symbol in tattoos, jewelry, and popular culture. Many wear it as protection, believing it wards off negative energy and stress. However, conspiracy theorists link it to the Illuminati, claiming it as a symbol of control for the global elite, appearing in the all-seeing eye on US dollar bills. This conflict raises questions. Is it a pure guardian or a tool of manipulation? Hope lies in its reminder to seek inner light and wholeness in a chaotic world. Emotional climaxes erupt here. Fear of the emptiness of the unknown gaze, hope of the solidity of a protective shield, and inspiration for the pursuit of wholeness in life. The Eye of Horus is not a static symbol, but a dynamic force. It calls you to face your own set and repair your own eye. In some local legends, the Eye of Horus was not torn apart, but rather darkened by Set's curse. Thoth washed it with moonlight, restoring its brightness. This variation emphasizes the process of purification, symbolizing humanity's atonement from sin. Another version, in Lower Egyptian mythology, fused the eye with the serpent deity Wadjet, becoming an ornament on the pharaoh's crown, protecting him from rebellion. Archaeological details delve deeper. At the Karnak Temple, 2055 BC, a mural depicting the Eye of Horus is combined with the sun disk of Amun-Ra, representing the unity of God and King. Amulets discovered during excavations are often made of blue glass, symbolizing the sky and the Nile. The Eye of Horus necklace in the British Museum's collection comes from the tomb of a priestess, which contained a scroll of incantation praying for longevity from the eye. Philosophical comparison. Similar to the Hindu Ajna Chakra, third eye, both emphasize awakening inner vision, but the Egyptian version focuses more on protection and restoration, while the Indian version emphasizes liberation from the cycle of reincarnation. Compared to the Taoist heavenly eye, both involve foresight, but the Egyptian eye is more mythological and narrative. This comparison suggests that different civilizations' interpretations of the eye reflect a common human pursuit, wisdom that transcends the senses. Personal reflection. If you close your eyes right now and imagine the Eye of Horus gazing at you, what would you feel? Would you fear it would reveal your secrets, or hope it would guide your path? Many modern people, through meditation practices, use the Eye of Horus symbol and report life transformations, from anxiety to calm, from confusion to clarity. Historical case study Ptolemy Weinsoter, 305-282 BC, during the Greek rule of Egypt, used the Eye of Horus to merge with the Greek god Heracles to create a new religion and consolidate his dynasty. However, after the Roman conquest, the eye symbol was borrowed by the Roman legions, appearing on their banners and inspiring soldiers during the Gallic campaigns. During the Christian era, the Coptic Church of Egypt transformed it into the Eye of Horus on a cross, symbolizing God's all-seeing vision. But the core mysticism was diluted, expanding exploration of mystical energy. Some New Age researchers believe the Eye of Horus corresponds to the human pineal gland, which when activated produces DMT, dimethyltryptamine, triggering visionary experiences. An experimental report showed that volunteers meditating while gazing at the eye pattern shifted their brain waves from beta to theta states, enhancing creativity and intuition. The suspense deepens. Can this energy be used in modern medicine, such as treating depression or enhancing cognition? Modern application details. In psychotherapy, the Eye of Horus symbol is used as a trauma recovery tool. Story. A trauma survivor who lost her parents in childhood gradually healed her inner wounds by getting a tattoo of the Eye of Horus. She wrote in her diary, "At first I was terrified of its gaze, but later it became my guardian." Inspiration. The power of symbols lies in belief and ritual. Cultural fusion and controversy. During the colonial era, European explorers such as Napoleon's Egyptian expedition looted artifacts related to the Eye of Horus and brought them back to France, leading to the discovery of the Rosetta Stone. However, this has also led to cultural appropriation. In modern fashion, the eye has become an ornament, losing its original meaning. Conspiracy theories have expanded. Some claim the all-seeing eye on the US dollar derives from Horus and represents elite control. This tension, the sacred versus commercial. Extended meditation. The Eye of Horus teaches us that life is a process of repair. Every brokenness is an opportunity for rebirth. The fear of the pain of brokenness and the hope for the joy of wholeness inspire eternal pursuit and humility. More examples. A contemporary artist, inspired by the Eye of Horus, created a series of works depicting the transformation from darkness to light. Visitors to his exhibition reported feeling the energy flow and left messages sharing their personal stories.